Well, we're just coming up on Arches National Park. We're here in Moab,
right,
which is surrounded by two major national parks. Beautiful red rock country. It's just a spectacular place. Wow.
Beautiful.
And state parks. There's Castle Valley and Dead Horse Point. And Dead Horse Point would probably be a national park if it wasn't already a state park.
Right.
The state of Utah just got a hold of it first.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's as amazing in some ways as the Grand Canyon. It's just absolutely phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's what we're here to do. That and the Moab Car Show in Cruz. And the fun thing here is the cruise itself is amazing.
Oh, it is.
But also the rod runs up to places like Dead Horse Point. What a wonderful combination. Muscle cars and red rock country. So check it out. The Moab Car Show and Cruise. Moab has emerged as a destination resort for a lot of people, especially people who are into outdoorsy kinds of things, particularly mountain biking. The Slick Rock Trail here is legendary as a mountain biking path. There are two incredible national parks here. This is Arches National Park that you see here, and just over the hill is Canyonlands National Park. The Moab Car Show is one of the favorite local car shows here in the state of Utah. This and perhaps the Ratfink reunion. But they're both really fun car shows. And it's also just a really good time coming to Moab. The show attracts several hundred first-class rides. It's kind of the usual mix: hot rods, bone stockers from all eras, customs, and the new, ever-popular rat rods. Check out this beautiful 1959 Chevy Biscayne. Now, I know, looks a lot like an Impala. Karen and I do love ourselves a 59 Impala, or in this case, a Biscayne. As always, there's a really good collection of 60s muscle cars. Gee, what's not to love with 60s muscle cars? And check out some of these really exotic race cars. A few of those popped up as well. But, you know, the muscle cars and, of course, the hot rods always seem to attract the most attention. Ooh, check out this Cross Ram Hemi. And speaking of Mopar, look at this. Twin SRT Dodge Challengers. Oh, and speaking of Challengers... Oh, and look at this. Looks like we found ourselves the Wild Mustang Corral. Karen and I do love Mustangs, which I suppose is why we have 3 of them. Check out this 70 Twister Special. Ever heard of the Twister Special? And this beautiful 66 Coupe. Oh, and speaking of resto mods, check this thing out. Definitely resto mod, not at all factory, but holy crap, what a neat setup. And a pretty much bone stock 68 here. And here's another 1970 Mustang, again pretty much bone stock, in this case a 351 4-barrel. And how about this 65 GTA convertible with air conditioning? Yep, this is the Wild Mustang Corral for sure. Well, car shows are always a lot of fun, and small ones pop up all over the country all summer long. But some of these larger regional car shows do have the advantage of being able to attract some really unusual cars, and at the very least a large variety of cars. There's definitely something here for everybody, no matter what their taste in automobiles or motorcycles for that matter. The Moab Car Show has been going on now for 20 years. It attracts about 700 cars, 600 to 700 cars. They come in mostly from the western states, but some people do wander in from the Pacific Northwest and even as far away as the South. It's really a great place to have a car show here in Moab with the incredible scenery, and never mind the people here in Moab are just really nice as well. And they're used to hosting people from all over the place. Now, oddly enough, this is my favorite car here in the show, a Model T Speedster. I love some of this early iron and these bone stockers. They're just an awful lot of fun. And retro hot rods are really cool too. Here we have a Tin Lizzie, would have sold for $350 when it was brand new. Historic bone stock automobiles are, well, they're just interesting and fun. They're not the radical rides like the hot rods or the muscle cars, but I get a real kick out of these things, sort of like a history lesson and a car show all at once. And the latest craze at all of the car shows are the rat rods. Now, I don't know if these things are actually named after Rat Fink or they just sort of have a loose association with Rat Fink, but certainly they share a lot of DNA with Mr. Rat. The goal behind a rat rod is just to have a really good time building the darn thing. There are no rules. The whole point of the rat rod is that there are no rules. And the more it looks like it's a real piece of junk, the better it is. They do seem to have sort of an association with steampunk, and yet they're really nothing like steampunk. They're not really retro, and yet, yeah, they are retro. It's just that back in the day, nobody would have built something that looks like this. Wow, check this beast out. I mean, what the heck is that? It's sort of a truck and sort of a hot rod and sort of a military vehicle and sort of not a military vehicle. I don't even quite know what this thing is, but it looks like it's an awful lot of fun. And look at this monster. Look at the size of that engine. Well, as the car show winds down, everybody starts drifting out of the park, but the action's not over. As a matter of fact, it's just now starting to heat up. Everybody's heading over to Main Street with their ride as the cruising is about to begin. Fortunately, the city is going to be taking a somewhat liberal view of what constitutes street legal, as long as it's not dangerous. And hundreds, if not thousands of people are starting to line the Cruz area with their folding chairs and tents and sleeping bags and I don't even know what. It sort of looks like the Rose Bowl parade is about to begin. But what is about to begin is some real old school, oldie-timey cruising of the boulevard. As the shadows fall over the red cliffs, the action down on Main Street starts to heat up. For anyone that was actually around in the 1960s, this should look really familiar. Cruising the boulevard in your hot ride. and perhaps settling once and for all just exactly whose car is the fastest between the lights. Now, while the police are taking a somewhat liberal view of all of this, they're not putting up with any actual drag racing. The Cruz is just possibly the absolute funnest part of the Moab Car Show. Karen and I decided to take a break from all the hot rodding and other frivolity and have dinner up here at Charlie Steen's house. Charlie Steen built this house up on the cliffs above Moab back in 1952, and it's now a restaurant, the Sunset Grill. You might be saying to yourself, who the heck is Charlie Steen? Well, Charlie Steen accidentally put Moab on the map when he discovered this stuff, uranium. Uranium was supposed to be the fuel of the future. Ford even designed this thing, the Ford Nucleon. It was going to be their atomic-powered car. If you've seen the show on the atomic train, you know that there was an entire nuclear-powered train designed, never worked out, and never got built. Also, this is uranium glass. Yes, they started making glass out of uranium as well, even children's marbles made out of uranium glass. I've always wanted to see Charlie Steen's house. My father was on the design team that designed Charlie Steen's house. He did the steel roof trusses for it. In 1952, this was a big deal. The following day, there was a rod run up to Dead Horse Point State Park. Dead Horse Point is a Utah state park, although it sort of looks like it should be a national park. Dead Horse Point was established in 1959. You know, I keep thinking I'm actually at the Grand Canyon, but no, this is a Utah State Park, Dead Horse Point. Dead Horse Point is right above Canyonlands National Park, and it was one heck of a fine rod run. I think everyone was blown away. Well, it is most definitely beautiful here. This is Arches National Park right over here. Canyonlands is right back over there.
Yeah, it is.
Stinking Desert National Monument is kind of up that way. So.
Serious?
Absolutely, yeah.
Missed that one.
Yeah, Stinking Desert. It's not a widely known national park, Stinking Desert, but it's
Is that
there.
where we found the hoodoo?
That's where the hoodoo that looks like Donald Trump is. It's in Stinking Desert National Monument.
Oh my.
Fairly obscure. You've really got to go looking for it. It's not even indicated on maps or GPS. You just have to ask the right people.
Do we really want to?
They can tell you where Stinking Desert National Monument is, should you
There it
want to
is.
find
This is the place.
Well, if you find yourself in this part of the world, in Moab, toward the end of April, get reservations early
Oh, no kidding.
and come to the Moab Car Show, and do plan on spending the night out on the street there, not the whole night, but till midnight or so,
Okay.
in a folding chair or something, watching the Cruz, because that is the best part of the whole thing, and it's just legendary and just absolutely amazing.
A lot of fun.
And then also plan on going along on some of the rod runs, even if you're not into the rods, up to Dead Horse Point or
Right.
Arches National Park or something like that, because those are great places to visit without hot rods. With hot rods,
Take any car.
yeah, take any car.
Yeah,
Take a
just
bicycle.
go,
Hell,
yeah.
everybody here's on a
That's
bicycle.
Right. Anything will go. It works.
It's cool, but check out the Moab Car Show. If you haven't been over to the channel, do get on over to the channel. The blue button that's popping in down in here in a few seconds will take you to the channel if you're a subscriber, If you're not a subscriber, you'll notice that the button says subscribe, and that's because what it will do is it will subscribe you to the channel and take you to the channel where you can watch a whole bunch of other really fun and interesting, about 135, something like that,
somewhere in that neighborhood,
movies that are over there right now, just on all kinds of fascinating things, from model railroads to steam locomotives to spaceships to tree houses, you name it, it's all over there. Just fun, amazing things, including more hot rods and cruises and that sort of thing. So do pop on over there. And that button's popping in just now. Blue button right over there says subscribe. Well, we're not sure how you found this movie on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring, because it's not boring. And we will see you here again in 1 week with some more massive screwing around. See you then.
Bye.
Bye-bye.